All right, guys, so today I am livid. I am disgusted. This might just be one of the most egregious things I've ever talked about on this channel, and I'm gonna have to just get rid of like 8 movies that I own just out of pure disgust for what I'm about to talk about. And we're gonna be talking about Quentin Tarantino. Now, it is no joke, and Quentin Tarantino is no stranger to controversy. Between, some of the allegations about how he treats actors on set, the ongoing debates of his use of the N-word in film, the use of extreme violence perpetrating a violent culture in America, prominently featured in his films. But yesterday, actually, he took it to a next level, and he snapped and viciously responded to this reporter while touring his new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, at the Cannes Film Festival. I'm wearing my Sundance Film Festival crew neck in solidarity with the egregious behavior displayed here. And I've been seeing all sorts of comments about how, wow, Quentin Tarantino, thank God that one reporter didn't let him be the festival darling. But without any further ado, let's get right into this response, and let's watch the clip. So basically, the reporter asked him about the amount of lines that Margot Robbie had in his new film. And just be prepared, because I've seen Quentin Tarantino snap at a couple reporters before, but nothing like this.
Quentin, you have put Margot Robbie, a very talented actress, actor, in your film. She was in with Leonardo in Wolf of Wall Street, I, Tonya. This is a person with a great deal of acting talent, and yet you haven't really given her many lines in the movie. And I wondered, I guess that was a deliberate choice on your part, and I just wanted to know why that was, that we don't hear her actually speaking very much. And Margot, I wanted you to also comment about being in the film in this part.
Well, I just reject your hypotheses.
Right.
Yeah, that was it. That's what the media calls snapping now. That's what they're trying to say as Quentin Tarantino's controversial response to this question was, I reject your hypothesis. Oh my God. I haven't witnessed such an extreme reaction to a reporter since that last R. Kelly interview.
Y'all killing me with this. I get out 30 years. I'm real.
Robert.
30 years, I'm real.
Okay, so first of all, I find this ridiculous, even just with the confines of this movie. Obviously, I have not seen it yet. It is not released here yet, but Tarantino, trying to attack Tarantino for not having or not featuring women prominently enough in film, or not giving women enough lines in films, is actually laughable, considering you got both Kill Bill movies, you've got Jackie Brown in other movies like Inglourious Basterds, like Shoshana Dreyfus. Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on, you need to chill. If of all the things that you could potentially call Quentin Tarantino out on, lack of female representation on screen is really not one of those things. Secondly, Margot Robbie even came in and said that she was completely fine with what she got, and it's like literally, what she was given in the movie was to serve the character. She's not one of the 2 main characters. The 2 main characters are, played by Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Those are your central characters, and that it makes sense that they're gonna get more lines. All right, so just as I was uploading this video, Tarantino did actually just clarify pretty much exactly what I just said, is that it's not her story. It's not the story of Sharon Tate. She is a side character in this story, and if you give her more on screen, if you give her more lines, it's taking away from the actual story, which is, exactly what I said, but at least it's now just confirming from his end that that is in fact the reason why, she wouldn't have as many lines compared to Leonardo DiCaprio, who is the central character. And there's just, it's very typical Tarantino. It is a big winding story. Like obviously this is a multifaceted film with a lot of different avenues, a lot of different characters to introduce on screen. And of everything that Tarantino does extremely well, dialogue is like the big one. Like the dialogue in Tarantino films is next level. The tension that he can bring into a scene that can seem just so lighthearted and jovial, but you have those undertones and you have the, the bomb under the desk thing, as you'd say, which, in Inglourious Basterds is like under the people under the floorboards during that milk scene. Like, he's a master of dialogue, and he's not just gonna throw in unnecessary lines just to arbitrarily give someone more more lines. And if you can even look at like Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio's faces when that question is being asked, and even they're like, what are you talking about? It's completely nonsensical. The question made no sense whatsoever, and it really just seemed like an intentional way to try to stir up shit at the festival so they could like use it in headlines. And if that's snapping, I would love to know what they call like full-fledged abuse or something like that, because that was honestly a significantly calmer response than I probably would have given as a filmmaker. He just chose not to engage with the question because, like many of us, realized it was a ridiculous question. Luckily, you know, Margot was there to kind of give her opinion, seeing as she was the one who was being used as the bait to throw under the bus in front of him.
Like I said earlier, I always look to the character and what the character is supposed to serve to the story. I think the moments that I got on screen gave an opportunity to honor Sharon and the lightness. I don't think it was intended to delve deeper than, like Brad also mentioned, I think the tragedy ultimately was the loss of innocence, and to really show those wonderful sides of her, I think could be adequately done without speaking.
She kind of like stood up and talked about the situation, but it's just ridiculous sometimes. Like, I get that they need to get clicks and stuff, and I get that some people aren't a huge fan of Tarantino for other reasons, and some of those reasons are more valid to draw criticism to Quentin Tarantino. I know after I saw this picture of him with Trisha Paytas, I had a lot of questions for him too, but of all the things you could get really nitpicky on, it's this. So like some people are a little bit better, like gets testy. He literally said like 4 words, I reject your hypothesis. I've seen Quentin Tarantino get really like agitated with certain interviewers, and that was just, you know, he just completely, here we go. Tarantino lashes out at criticism over female actors. Really, The Guardian lashes out?
Well, I just reject your hypotheses.
He said 4 words. Are you kidding me? Like, my fucking God. Talk about reaching. Talk about reaching, distorting reality. I can't even. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I know that it's very common in media to do this kind of stuff. And, you know, it's very normal for people to exaggerate things now. But like, that's an extreme exaggeration, especially when you have the actress who's actually being used as the catalyst for your question has to be like, no, I think like she dealt with it very, you know, graciously. I feel like if I had been asked that question as an actor or like as an actress in a Quentin Tarantino film, I would have been like, I'm glad that Mr. Tarantino chose to write the exact right amount of dialogue to tell the best story possible, because that is where he excels. Like, I don't know what they're trying to get with this or why they thought that was like a valid question. Like, obviously we haven't seen the movie. Maybe there is like a chance that they awkwardly underutilized her, but I seriously doubt that's the case. Because, you know, it's certainly not going to be a lack of talent thing. It's not going to be a lack of wanting her on screen. Like, people love Margot Robbie. She's proven herself in multiple films to be an excellent actress. Like, it's not going to be anything like that. And Tarantino's also very selective with the people that he puts in his films. It's very rare. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that's in a Tarantino movie that I feel like doesn't belong there. So I just refuse to believe that there is any reason that she needed to be in it more or needed to be in it less. And if anything, they would have benefited from having her in it more. So I refuse to believe that this was some, you know, malicious intent. And to go after someone, like I mentioned, who's made movies like Kill Bill, like Jackie Brown, who's featured characters like Shoshana Dreyfus and, you know, Mia Wallace and all these different characters in films, and this is where you're gonna go at him for that. That's ridiculous. Luckily, most people aren't trying to defend this, and anybody who actually took the time to watch the clip would realize, like, for the most part, the only people I'm seeing, like, not okay, like, not kind of on my side are people that just already don't like Quentin Tarantino, which I guess is fine. You can have a bias, but like I said, of all the things that you could maybe try to go at Quentin Tarantino for, this is not one of them. And it's irresponsible when they make headlines like this, making it sound like he basically verbally assaulted somebody for asking a question, when he said 4 words. He just said 4 freaking words. Okay. Anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. I did want to talk about a couple of the other things going on kind of more in like the YouTube, kind of like esports community and stuff like that. I might save it for this weekend to see if we get more information. For those of you who don't know, I am actually very active in that sphere. One of my jobs is editing for an esports organization, but there's a whole new thing with kind of like, you know, a Fortnite guy named Tifu suing his organization FaZe Clan, who's huge. And then there was some stuff with Tati and James Charles, where James Charles basically just countered every point they made, and now everybody's trying to back off. So basically, they're openly admitting that they just loosely called him a sexual predator, and now they're backing off when he was able to like disprove most of it. So that sucks. So maybe this weekend, if I get more information on a couple different things, I'll do one of those like topic dump videos that I do every now and again, where I kind of just explain these situations to you, let you know what the updates are and stuff like that. If there's any other stories that have happened this week that you wanted some thoughts on, please feel free to let me know. But this just seemed so ridiculous to me that I can't believe what people are just like, what the straws that people are grasping at to title their headlines. Like, if anything, in my opinion, that made the person who asked the question look worse than him. So that's going to do for today's video. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. Have a fantastic day. I'll catch you all later. And really quickly, I just want to take a chance to thank anybody who's used that join button down below to kind of like sponsor the channel. It's a new feature that they kind of just unlocked for me. And then as always, I want to thank the people that have been like regular patrons on my Patreon for quite a while. We've been getting a few new ones lately, so I just wanted to kind of give a shout out there. You're probably seeing them on the screen right now. So thank you again so much for the support. Even if you're just here watching the video, every view means more than you know. Every subscriber is just a little treasure to me. So thank you all so much for the continued support, and we'll catch you all later.